I'm Ema Kumar. I'm working as an open source developer in ChipKits for past 5 months. Now I'm going to talk about legend charts, which this control always match the fill patterns, which has the chart to labels that describe the data series shown with those fill patterns. And for the each entry in this control always known as the legend item, which this item always contains two basic parts, which is marker and the another one is label. And this concept I am using flex builder, which is within the script tag I am using collections for the array collection, and for the variable I am giving here as Smith, which is the new array collection. For the date and I am close, which is the two values I am giving. For the another variable I am giving as decor, which is the array collection. And for the bindable I am public variable as decor color, which is the number as the specific number I am giving for the decor color and the Smith color as well. And using the stroke, which is the ID as horizontal stroke, and for the color, which is the Smith color, this variable is getting where this number that color will come. And for the caps as square, which has the stroke, another stroke I am using for the horizontal stroke one, which is the decor color, it has to come. And for the panel, which has the title column chart with multiple axes. And for the column chart ID as column chart, which has the show data types as true. For the horizontal axis I am using category axis, which is the ID as horizontal axis, and for the category field as date, where this data is get. And for the axis horizontal axis renderers I am using axis renderer tag, which is the placement as bottom and axis as horizontal axis, and I am closing it. And for the vertical axis renderers I am using axis renderer placement as left, axis as vertical axis. And for the axis stroke, which has the horizontal stroke, and closing it. And for the another axis renderer, which is the placement is left, for the axis which is using vertical axis 1. And for the another axis stroke I am using horizontal stroke 1, and I am closing it, that axis renderers. And for the series I am using here as column series, which is as the ID column series. For the horizontal axis I am using horizontal axis. And for the data provider, that Smith, that variable has to come. For the Y field, which is the close, this values has to come, this one. So like that I am giving here, and I am giving display name as decor. And for the vertical axis I am giving linear axis. Like that I am giving the ID for vertical axis 1, which is the value minimum 150, maximum 170, and I am using line stroke as well. And for the color, that decor color, which is we earlier saw, this has to given this color. And after that I am closing the series and chart, and using the legend chart, which is the legend item tag for the label Smith as font weight as bold, and for the fill, which is the solid color as Smith color. And the stroke also I am giving the color as this one, which earlier saw, this stroke. And after that another legend item, which is the decor, and also the solid color. Now we are going to see the output, where this is the indication of the points with the data types which is showing, in the sense that they can see the legend chart, which is specifically where is that indication as giving these values, these line charts. So in the sense that legend chart will specifically pinpoint the accuracies and decreases where that values is raised or not. So in this sense that legend chart is used with combined of column chart, where it's used in very effective manner. Friends, in case you have any queries, please contact my blog emakumar.wordpress.com. Otherwise you can mail to my at my mail ID, where s.emakumar@gmail.com. Thank you.